Howdy, hi, how you doing? This is ExtraNormal Podcast. Still trying to find an intro. Who the fuck cares? Alongside me is my wife, Brianna. How's it going, Brianna?
His beautiful wife, because he hasn't said that in a while.
Have I not said that in a while? I said
he
that.
tells me every day.
Yeah.
But
it's not recorded.
He hasn't told you guys,
which is the only thing that matters.
He should be telling the world every day and every time we record.
And you know what? But back to the green cup. It's back.
Better than the McDonald's cup, so we're good.
Yeah, last episode I was unknowingly sponsoring McDonald's. And
No.
And we bought a new shiny recording thing. Shiny. That we got on OfferUp. And OfferUp, I have to say, everybody, OfferUp is fucking trash. It's fucking trash. Either everything is so expensive or you have to go to like this sketchy part of the, of the world. Thank you.
This is, do you want to know my husband's anthem in life? If you do, then if you don't, well, you're going to hear it anyway. Wait, sorry.
That is.
There you go. You're welcome.
Sad. For those listening, watching live, it's Sad Trombone. That's the anthem.
I have exciting news. And
oh, my God.
And I'm sure all my fellow hairstylists out there feel the same way. Salons are open.
Yeah.
We are excited.
In California. I mean, I don't know I don't even know what the situation, like they could, like the world could be pretty much on fire outside of like our little bubble. And I probably would know, but other than like little minor stuff, like what's open and what's not open around the U.S., I have no idea.
Well, there's conspiracies with that. You're being controlled.
Of course there are conspiracies with that.
Oh, you're being controlled. They only want you to see what they want you to see.
No,
keep us in the bubble.
No, here's the thing is for me, at least, I don't know. Who knows what news is being fed to me? But for me, like I would totally like watch the news. Like when the COVID shutdown first hit, I would totally watch the news and pay attention and like focus in. And what are the numbers? Now I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. I can't follow the news. I don't give a shit what's happening in Portland. I'm sorry. I should. I know I hope they figure it out. I hope everybody kind of starts holding hands. I don't know. I can't think about that stuff.
You know what I do know, though?
What?
I know that all the people out there, and I see some live people, you guys should call
real live people, not dead people?
626-733-8256.
Who knows? You know what? You know what the ultimate, like, me thing to do is that if I was like, oh, man, nobody's calling, and I just set it up wrong. That would be me. It would be hold on.
Well, that's the sound of his
Story of my life. Story of my life. What's that shitty song?
I don't know, but I'm drinking out of the Starbucks cup because
hey, no branding.
I'm really sad.
Let's talk about being controlled. You're controlled by fucking Starbucks.
Talking about OfferUp, like the newest cup that came out for fall.
We talking about OfferUp?
Really want, and it was like fucking $60. Fuck that shit.
Oh, on OfferUp. That's the thing with OfferUp. Like, not to get into like more OfferUp talk, but it is like everybody who sells stuff on OfferUp, like especially that kind of stuff, they know what they got, and so they're gonna like. And we were talking about like.
Meanwhile, here I am just trying to get rid of shit.
Poor,
where I'm like, oh,
poor humble soul.
Yeah, I'm
you.
like, oh, I want to make a little bit of money, but I'm not gonna like gorge people. Like that's crazy.
Or gauge.
Or go fuck yourself.
I'll go fuck yourself.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about what the topic we're going to be talking about tonight is?
I would love
I'm sure everybody would like to know.
So one thing is the main topic, the main subject at hand, which is a little late for all the people storming it, is Area 51. It's going to be our subject for this evening. And also we're gonna just in case anybody calls in, we're gonna have a call-in topic. I really like the idea of where is the place you'd like to be buried? Like anything that's, even if it's private property or it's public property, where would you want to be buried? Anywhere in the world.
Yeah. So if you guys want to,
don't say Mars, because I mean,
on the live chat, call us at 626-733-8256 and tell us where you would like to be buried. If you would like to be buried.
Oh, no. Buried alive?
Ooh, hopefully not.
That is one of the biggest fears of mine, is being buried alive.
Well, that was very
That
common.
freaks the fuck out of me. Well, that's where the I think we've talked about this privately, but the Saved by the Bell, that originated from the idea that, like, if you were super rich, like if you were like living it and you died, if you're really living that life and then you died, they would if you had the money, they would install like a pulley system that was with the bell, so that if you were just
dead but then woke up,
if you were unconscious or something like that and you woke up, you're like, oh fuck, I'm in a box 6 feet under, like you could ring the bell and hopefully someone would hear it.
How fucked up is that? Like, only the rich people get the bell? So
Hey.
if you're poor, you just fucking have to like scratch. I'm sure when they opened all of those coffins, they found a lot of scratch marks.
Hey, some famous artist, musician said that the rich get richer and the poor get the picture. That's what we're dealing with.
With COVID, we're definitely filling the bottom of the barrel. Us middle class folk.
Yeah, and also too, like if you look at how, I mean, we haven't gotten into Area 51, but if you look at how the like COVID affects people, like if you're like wealthy, you could just stay inside, order DoorDash, whatever. Like
go to your private island,
hang out for a while. If you were Jeffrey Epstein and you weren't arrested during COVID, you could just go to your private island, hang out, schmooze with all the famous people who probably should be in jail. Yeah, but you could totally like just tune out and just be like, fuck it, I'm not leaving the house. But if you're like normal Joe Schmo, like you probably have to leave the house every once in a while.
Yeah,
even if you're remote.
Yeah, even if you have like underlying like illnesses and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. Like,
I got sickness.
But the rich are just like, garçon, go grocery shopping for me.
Do you think there's still a butler named Garçon? I'm sure there's a person named Garçon.
Garçon is like how you say it. I think in French. I think it means the same.
It means shit. Butler in French? I just thought that's how dumb I am. That's how dumb and poor I am. I thought the guy was literally calling for a guy named Garçon. I was like, who the fuck is? Why are there so many Garçons? And Lumieres. Why is there so many Lumieres? I don't know. Area 51. So the fabled Area 51, where fabled, yeah.
Okay.
It's long been told.
But fables aren't real, are they?
I don't know.
I don't think fables are real.
Fabled is something you say, well, like, oh, it's fabled, right?
Area 51 is.
You get all. You're already defensive.
I am.
You're already defensive.
Yeah. Because I've been watching, doing a lot of research about Area 51, and there's like a lot of like bullshit, like trying to say that like, oh, it's for military, and the things you see in the sky above it that look like UFOs are just military, like
way to bury the lead.
New equipment.
So I think that definitely happened. Whether there was extracurricular stuff, you don't think? Well, they confirmed that there was U2s.
Let's go into the origin, because then if you talk about like the origin of it, it's like. They could have been doing that stuff. Why did they have to after Clarence? Go ahead. You look angry.
Laugh track. Yeah, I don't look angry. Do I look angry?
You always look angry.
Yeah, I got resting asshole face.
Resting cock face.
Raff. I got Raff. Resting dick face. Is that the male equivalent of resting bitch face?
Resting wrinkle ball face.
Oh, you saying I got wrinkles? Oh, this is sad.
Balls have wrinkles.
Balls have wrinkles, everybody. That's our episode, everybody. Balls have wrinkles. Area 51 had something. No, but so let's start out with the let's start out with the traditional view.
I'm trying to let you lead this time.
Oh, okay.
Because I know I'm a control
Look at
freak.
this.
So
let me lead the dance for just a second before you take over and step on my feet.
To lead, and then so I can get into like why I don't think that it was used as like a military base.
Well, it is used as a military base.
Yes, but just for like designing new aircraft. Like I'm not saying that they don't also do that there.
Oh, there's some secret. Whether you think there's nefarious alien shit on, there's some the most like secret fucking, at least aircraft wise, like the most secret shit of the government is happening there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So
but go ahead.
So the traditional view, so what we know, so beyond what the speculation and what kind of conspiracy theories have pieced together, is that it was in 1954, 1955, President Eisenhower took essentially an area of nuclear testing, which seems real fun, and developed a secret base. And the traditional view of kind of what is floating out there and what's been acknowledged as of 2014. So before, and sorry to jump so much, but before 2014, the government, like everybody knew there was an Area 51. Like it was common knowledge for many years. But they never said it was a thing. They're like, you're funny. Area 51, like, it's real funny. In 2014, they finally acknowledged that there was an Area 51. So it took them that long to even say, like, confirm the fact, which is government shit. Like, they're never going to, like, unless it's out in the open, they're never going to say. But it was created in 1954 based on reports as a response to the Cold War, the Soviet Union, and they wanted to spy. So I think this is something that legitimately happened. We could talk about, like, whether it was also like the U-2 department was like, not the band, but the plane, with whether that department was, I don't know, maybe U-2 visited. They might be in on it. Bono, we know. You can overuse that so much.
On point.
But there might have been like an alien wing on a different site. S4 is the famous one, S2 and S4, right? That had the U-2, but for sure they created this base, at least partially because of this U-2 program, where they wanted to spy on Russians, and they didn't want to be discovered. And Russians, I think radar can pick up to 40,000 feet or some odd, and that's how high planes went. So they developed these U-2 planes, which would spy. And I think the developer was named Kelly Johnson or something like that. Wasn't he the guy who made U-2 planes? He was the engineer.
Don't know.
Kelly Johnson, who cares?
Don't know.
So that's what it was. And then it branched off from there. The scuttlebutt is that's where the Nighthawks are made, the H-12s, the Tacit Blues. So all these super secret, like stealth, new technology in terms of U.S. government, U.S. military stuff. It was all developed there, and it was all tested there. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
You're like leaving out a really big part of the story.
What's that?
That Clarence Kelly Johnson.
That's what his name is. I know.
Like, yes, he did like develop one of the spy crafts, but he also had seen a UFO, and obviously for his line of work, he knew when it was military and when he knew it was definitely not. So this sparked such an interest, and everybody in the force believed him that he was the actual brains behind creating the Area 51 to take everybody and do their experiments. I believe that there are remains, maybe if not now, definitely in the time of the beginning of extraterrestrial life inside.
So so it was. I think getting into conspiracy theories. I don't know what the people who believe Area 51. I don't know. I'm not saying that either way. I don't know what's in there. It's the most secret of secret bases. So who knows? God knows. But is there any conspiracy theories that it was built before 1954?
I haven't seen that, but definitely, I don't think people realized at that time that it was underground. A lot of people thought it was just in the mountain, the side of the mountain, and one of the main reasons for them to kind of hide it was because there was Russian spies trying to.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, it's definitely logically it is the most, like, even if you in the world of like the most, like, conservative in terms of like what you can believe is in Area 51. Area 51 housed some serious shit in terms of governments. Like, it was like they did not want people going in there. Like, they have like surveillance cameras all over, which is not that surprising for base, but it's like they have trucks watching you. You don't get close. And that's why I thought, was it last September? the whole storm Area 51. I was like, man, you guys are. If you really trying to, if
Yeah,
you
it's
really
really
trying
funny.
to storm Area 51, you're in for some shit. No matter what you believe,
Yeah.
they could be housing a one gray, like sitting on the couch somewhere in a break room, or it could just be like government shit. They're gonna shoot you down. They don't give a shit.
Well, the funny thing about that, like everybody that knows me, that knows I love like my aliens.
What's the funny thing about being shot down by military?
No, the funny thing about like the whole raid is that literally so many people were hitting me up about it. Like, you're gonna go. And I'm the type of person where I would like to go when no one was there. You better believe I will not go with a crowd of people because, of course, like, plus,
You want to go to that hip coffee shop before everybody else goes, right? You want to be that guy.
No, I want to go.
That guy, gal.
In like the middle of the night. Not even just for like, well, I guess for the funk of it, but like just in case if I saw some kind of aircraft or something over it, I think it would be really cool and the experience. But no, I'm not trying to do all that. But I definitely want to know more about what's going on in there. It seems like the only people that really open up are about the people that have actually like worked inside. It's a bunch of like older men that are like on their deathbed, and then it's kind of like you have to like either take it with a grain of salt or actually believe what they're saying is real. And I believe what
there's a couple people who have come out and they haven't been verified. That's the thing about Area 51 and the thing that so like a lot of like this government conspiracy stuff, like the government holding stuff, I just don't, there's not a lot of trust in that because I think it gets out eventually, but either like this is so secret that people can't like tell, or it's just a bunch of people I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like it's definitely, there's definitely some stuff they don't want you to know.
In your heart?
Do I think there's aliens there? It goes back to my belief that, and I hate to pour a wet cold watered blanket, a sopping wet, rain soaked blanket. No, I think that probably, the aliens are too sophisticated to not be caught.
Wrong.
Why?
What they're doing down there, and this makes complete sense, is that they have like, I think.
Why am I wrong though? Couldn't I be right or wrong? Why do you have to be so deterministic about this stuff?
There might be one sophisticated alien that you're talking about, but there are probably your other ones, or they were so they were so badly injured from the UFO crash or whatever.
They've fallen to success.
That they, couldn't.
No, I don't think that.
themselves.
And also too, it'd be hard. That'd be a tough fucking secret to keep. I think that the government could keep it for a while, but it's been 60. How many?
They can totally keep that.
Because here's the thing: is like the people who come out, they're like, well, I saw something, but then they never like provide any evidence or any physical evidence or anything like that. I'm not saying that it didn't. There's not aliens sitting in there. I don't know. I've never been in there. I'd like to take a tour.
What I'm saying, I would love to take a tour. What I'm saying is that I believe.
Well, why do you think?
Listen, I believe that.
Listen,
it's like UFOs. I believe that, like how we think, like when you hear abductees, they talk about how like they see people in the test tubes and that kind of stuff. So I think the same kind of thing is going on in Area 51. I think they're doing experiments on humans. I think they're doing experiments.
Who's doing experiments on
animals.
Humans are doing experiments.
Military
is doing experiments on humans.
100%.
It might be, but I don't know. They've done if you look at Tuskegee,
Stranger Things, like hello.
Yeah, that biography. No, I think that we can't be that deterministic about it. I think that you can't say that there's definitely aliens, and you can't say there's definitely not aliens. I'll put it that way. I don't think you can say either way.
I'm just saying, like, if there was any opportunity for it to be a facility like that, it would be perfect because it's underground.
Sure.
Nobody knows what's going on.
I mean, it's most likely candidate, but I think that probably in my head, like in terms of like what's more likely, like if I had to choose, if I had to like bet the house on what's more likely versus like aliens abducting us versus like Earthlings abducting aliens via crash or whatever, I think it's probably aliens abducting us because they're sophisticated. They're gonna be covert and stuff like that.
They're making us better.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't appear that they're making us better, but
on another planet.
Signs are still out.
Probably.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's fascinating to think like, like Men in Black and
So one of the theories that let's try to scramble this out, and this is again not saying that there's not stuff in there and not alien stuff. Do you think the Roswell crash, the UFO crash materials, or the aliens that might have been in this supposed crash, which I think also too is like one of the things, and it's not trying to dispute it, but one of the things that leads to so many alien sightings in this area is because there's so much fucking like government activity. Like they're doing all kinds of crazy shit in the desert. Like the government is, our own earthlings are doing this shit. But getting to Roswell, do you think that there was at any time they might have been transferred over to who knows where, to below the Denver airport or something? Shout out to all you people who think that there's like a secret New World Order and underneath the Denver airport. You've heard that conspiracy theory, right?
No.
You ever heard that?
New World Order under the
Denver
airport?
I believe, and I might be butchering it, and call on to 626-733-8256 if you think that this is true. But apparently this is the scuttlebutt. I don't know what they've cited as like evidence for it, and you could tell us what they've cited as evidence. But apparently underneath the Denver International Airport, that is where there's like a bunker and stuff like that, where when and if shit goes down on this planet, the New World Order is gonna like all fly to Denver and stay under there for a while until it's only cockroaches, so it's all humans and cockroaches. You ever heard this theory? Mm-mm. Episode 45. Oh, we got a call.
Call from
Caleb.
Hey, is this Caleb?
Yep, it's Caleb. How are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for calling.
Great.
What's going on? So we're talking about Area 51. Do you have any? I'm sure that you have some strong beliefs in Area 51, right?
Yeah. It's got to be crazy there, right?
It's got to be. I was saying that whatever's going on, like whether it be like aliens or government, there's some crazy ass shit.
Caleb. This guy over here thinks it's all military, and he thinks that there's no aliens underground there. Can you please educate him?
I don't know if there's aliens, I'm saying. I don't know. I've never seen one.
Are you on my side or
his? I'm former military, so I've got.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Wait. Are you at the door?
Wait. I need to know. Did you work in Area 51?
No, I'm actually okay. Let me specify. Ex-military, I was fired, so I wasn't like.
Okay.
Oh, you could tell us the goods then. You could tell us the real deal.
No, for sure. It's like the guys who were for that, the people who are for that, it's for them. But the people who it ain't for, it's not for them. But I would say, just in general, like I don't think you guys are live streaming anywhere because I couldn't like get caught up on the conversation or anything like that. So I'm coming in a little bit blind.
Oh, it's all good.
But from my experience, like there's no reason to ever tell anyone anything in the military about anything they don't need to know about. So there's a lot of like mystery and intrigue about like the most mundane stuff. So there's not to say that there isn't anything secret about Area 51, although I think probably the more secret stuff is like in the Nellis Air Base and that kind of thing. But the fact that there's a lot of secrecy around it doesn't mean that it's necessarily like, I don't know, esoteric or alien or anything like that. That's just how it is when you're involved. It's on a need-to-know basis. So nobody knows anything they're not supposed to.
They don't,
right?
They don't let you in on any insight, just in general, just not even.
No, it's not in the weekly email. No.
Because I've heard some shit. I've heard that military guys know more than they should. And that's why a lot of them, like, I mean, not only the fact that they've fought in wars and, so they get, a lot of like issues, like mental health issues, but I'm thinking it's deeper. I'm thinking there seems some shit they're not allowed to talk about. And
maybe.
I'm not just talking about
the stuff that they see that they're not allowed to talk about is usually like killing people and like what people they killed. So you have a lot of guys that come out of engagements that have to do with, what kind of targets that they engage with, and that has stress involved with it that they don't really want to talk about. And it gives people some leniency with the government to say, well, we can't talk about our deployments, whatever. That's fine.
So
but
it's all
to be a little bit more
stuff.
serious, specifically with Area 51, like if you want to talk about like aliens,
I do. Always, every day.
Do you think they're
24/7.
like? Do you think they're a figment of imagination that we
No.
make real, or do you
No.
think they're an actual thing,
100%
like
real.
from other planets?
100% real. I could feel it in my soul.
She believes.
I believe open-heartedly.
Great. So let's say that there's aliens. Obviously, there has to be like an extraterrestrial something.
Mm-hmm.
Just given the numbers, right? So it's impossible to say like, well, there can't be any life out there. So
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Then we get into like these more esoteric concepts of what, or within the occultism, I guess, within the frame of reference here, you have like certain levels of engagement. So the most like wheels off, hardest for me to get on board with is the like Christ-like consciousness out in space right now, like the Galactic Confederation or whatever it is, with the Palladians and all these other aliens that are out there, like directly influence. That seems to be the most, kind of a tangent from actual science and more of a Star Trek.
What's funny?
Inspired. Not to say it's not legitimate,
Yeah.
but I think people can believe whatever they want to believe and they'll make it real. But that seems to be directly influenced by like Star Trek and Deep Space Nine and all these.
Okay, so let me tell you my background. So I was raised very Catholic, so very close-minded, in a bubble, very protected growing up. So for me to think that the way that I do, like, it goes against my religion. I am a Christian. Like, I still believe in God. I believe in a higher being. And technically, God is an extraterrestrial in that sense. So I know I'm kind of hypocritical when I say this, but like, because if you go by the Bible, it doesn't really talk about extraterrestrials. And I do, like, I know this pisses off a lot of religious people, if you're one too, because I believe a lot of stuff was taken out of the Bible. And just like we have the book of Enoch that's missing a lot of stuff, that, the fiery chariots and things like that. So I just, there's a lot of pieces of puzzles that aren't completely together. And I really feel, just because I'm very open-minded, that there's so much more out there. And I feel like, I think the extraterrestrials are, in a sense, protecting us because, they know that we are our own worst enemy. Look at what we're doing to ourselves now. So I believe it, and I want to see it, but I don't. I'm scared. I feel like I'm not ready. I feel like I'm ready, but I'm not ready,
I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry, Caleb. I almost cut you off.
Yeah, sure. I don't want to step on you.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Next week, right? So you mentioned the book of Enoch, and that was kind of leading me towards my direction. So there is this like ancient alien outlook or this conspiracy that from the book of Enoch, you have these Anunnaki characters that come down, and there's reptilian conspiracies that go along with all that, and like that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And then there's a more contemporary version of it where you have these kind of like mom and pop people out in the middle of nowhere getting abducted by aliens, and God knows what is happening to them. And it's hard to be in both camps at the same time, right? And as someone like myself who's interested in all things like weird and kind of off the beaten path or in the fringe, like I don't know what is more viable, this Anunnaki ancient alien intervention, or have they figured it out enough to not abduct every like farmer? And
I think that's why it's so fascinating, because you can't say that Anunnaki were not here because we have evidence of that. We have documentation of that. So it's like that's in your face, and it's hard for us to understand it and fathom it, because like the time frame doesn't add up to like Jesus, Moses, the Bible. So it is a little bit mind blowing, and we're not. But if you go by the Bible again, God specifically says, through his apostles, that we're not supposed to understand everything that's going on.
I think also too, like if you look at, so I think there's two different camps. Sorry to inject on this, but I think there's two different camps. So I think that if you are in the ancient alien camp, like you're of the belief that they came a while back ago, you have to really think that you have to really like take these kind of these pieces of artwork on walls and stuff and really abstract and kind of develop that theory. I mean, if you look at something like the 2014 case in San Diego, like that's a little more like there's more evidence, and you could say, well, that was weird. Like, I don't understand that. Did you see that, by the way, Caleb, did you see that brand spanking new San Diego? I mean, it's been out a while, but did you see that? The unidentified, the Pentagon releasing?
Oh yeah, there were 2 or 3 that were released by the Pentagon.
Yeah, the Tic Tac one. Did you see the did that as a military guy?
Yeah,
I know
I've seen all the recent military disclosure. I've seen all that. But look, this is my take, and it might be a little bit weird. But are you familiar with
we love weird
named William Bullman?
No, this is nice. William Bullman, you said?
Yeah, William Bullman. So he's William spelled traditionally, and then Bullman, try your best. But he writes a book about like leaving your body, and he specializes in things like astral projection. And he seems to be under the impression that there isn't that much of a difference between a poltergeist and a UFO, and that really what you're doing is you are seeing kind of that dream material materialize in your own mind with whatever symbols you can pull to make it happen. So even when you have like these mass extraterrestrial encounters where we have like the Fatima, what's the one with the Fatima thing in Argentina? Was that what it was?
Yes.
But they also like, yeah. So that even at like a large, or you could have a lot of people encounter like a poltergeist all at once, right? Like multiple people can experience it.
So
and it could be just like.
When you say poltergeist, are you talking about like basically there's no such thing as actual like ghost spirits? It's more like an encounter with an extraterrestrial?
It's similar psychoactive kind of experience, I guess.
So there's no such thing as ghosts.
Right? Like we put our symbols on top of it, right? We don't know what it is. It's like seeing a new color. And the best thing that we can do is like invent. We have to pull from what we already know to define it. And so when you have this phenomenon and it happens to certain people, they define it a certain way. So people who are spiritual define it as like a mystical experience with Christ consciousness. People who are of a certain proclivity will see it as a UFO or a demon or an angel. But whatever it is, it's the same thing. And so this guy teaches about astral projection. And that's something that I wouldn't say I'm a capable astral projector, but I'm fairly capable with lucid dreaming.
You know more than we do. Yeah, for sure.
That's fascinating.
Right, but I figured out the mechanics. Like, basically, you can just like force yourself to fall asleep and then have a lucid dream, and then you can call it astral projection.
Huh.
What do you call it after that is your own business.
So I was gonna ask you what you think is most likely to, out of the weirdness and the kookiness and all that stuff, what you think is most likely to be real werewolves or aliens or ghosts or lucid dreaming. It sounds like you're big on like astral projection stuff.
I think it's probably more weird than we give it credit for. Like, if the government is saying we don't know what it is, that's probably true. I feel like if they could weaponize it, it would already be a weapon.
Oh shit!
If they could turn it into a vehicle that would give them an advantage, they would already have that. I mean, imagine a vehicle that could like counteract gravity, where you can stop after going like 2,000 miles an hour, just stop. That's ridiculous. And not even that being a vehicle, but just a ballistics with an explosive inside.
But is it ridiculous?
Ridiculous, right?
I don't. But it's ridiculous because I don't want to think about it.
Because if they could do it, they could. It is like if they could program a bullet to look up like social media and then go to the place where the person who made the comment that they didn't like, they didn't have to like follow the laws of physics and stop at a door or whatever. Like that's a little bit scary, right? To me, it's scary that they could have that idea. Now, I feel like if they could do that, they would already be doing that. I think they don't know what's going on. And that even after thousands of years, they're still clueless. Like they don't have any clue.
We're still dumb.
What it is. right. For
still
sure.
dragging our
Which is
knuckles
even
a little
more
bit.
humbling because, because it seems to be that the phenomenon takes place around nuclear activity. Now, I don't know if that is a symptom of it. Like if you start to have nuclear activity take place, then the UAPs is what they're now calling them, I guess.
Yeah.
Will begin to show up, or if they're there to interfere with it, right? I don't get this benevolent sensation from like UFO interference. Like I don't know that or get the idea that we're on the right path for, I don't know, like some type of a global enlightenment and that they're guiding us that way. It seems to me that things are getting more chaotic and torn apart. So I don't know that they're working if they are things that are working for us.
But see, that would go along the lines of the reptilian race. Because if you've done some like research, if you know a little bit about them, they supposedly thrive off negative activity. It's like us being more negative, supposedly on our planet. It's supposed to like make their planet thrive, and they're kind of supposedly pulling strings and working through our government. You know, I mean, it's a theory.
Well, not to get
wild. It's kind of wild, but it's like, I mean, things are getting more and more negative, and I'm wondering, are they thriving over there? Because
I mean, I think also too, not to get to philosophy 101, but I think power thrives off of chaos. Man, when there's chaos, there's a lot of gaps to fill in, and you can just kind of take advantage of that. But hey, Caleb, this has been awesome. Hey, what's that? Go ahead.
Yeah, good. Oh well, no, go ahead.
No, go for it. We're here.
Well, I was only going to offer, just for the sake of, being that guy, if that was the case, and you have this like advanced alien race of reptilians, why would it be so base, right? Like, why would it be so like basic and rudimentary just to make each other mad at each other? Like, why wouldn't it be more scientifically involved or complex? Or
like, we got this thing; it's working for us.
I get it. Yeah, no. I mean, I believe in the reptilian race.
That's my problem. Like, I want to believe. Like, yes. there's a bigger plan going on. I don't want to accept the idea that we're all just fucking lost and afraid and doing the wrong thing, right? Like, I want there to be someone in charge, even if they're not like out for the best. We're like, at least someone smart out there is doing something.
Yeah.
But it just seems like we're kind of just like banging rocks together and hoping for fire.
Okay, before we let you go, I have one more question. What you think about, like, you've heard of, when spacemen go into outer space, and they say that, like, when you're up there, sometimes you hallucinate, which makes sense, obviously. But a few times at the same time, there has been, they have seen, if you want to say hallucinated, but they've said that they've seen crafts passing by that look almost angelic, and the angelic beings flying by next to their giant craft have like I'm going to say it wrong. Telepathy, yeah. And speak to them, and they say to them, it's time for you to go home. You're not ready. You need to turn around and leave. And both of the guys that were in that craft, like, were kind of scared because they didn't know if they were hallucinating. But when they talked to each other, the exact same thing was in their mind from, the telepathy. Do you think that was all just mental or like coincidence? Like, what do you think?
I have an answer for you. I think there's two ways to get involved with alien life forms. There's a physical way, and then there's a mental way. And I think that when you are capable of interacting with people through some type of clairvoyance, right, whether it be telepathy or like this empath or emotionally sensitive, that's probably what they're looking for. They don't want to see you physically leave the planet. I think that species that do that first are typically warlike, because when you're based off of physical like necessity, then there are some rules, right? You have to acquire like resources, and you have to exploit them, and that's probably not the way that the universe works at an intellectual level. Probably what happens is that the species will develop a way to communicate telepathically, and then once those systems are open, like at a universal level, like, well, all humans are capable of telepathy, then you probably can start reaching in a deep space with your mind, and that's where you can make peaceful contact, right? Because there's no one at risk. Yes. So once we're able to do that, I think that the doors will be open, because then it shows that we're able to like step in to that higher role. But as long as we're physically exploiting resources, mining minerals, drilling out oil, destroying the land. Like, they don't want that shit in space, which is probably why we're way out at the fringes of it, right?
Don't trash our beach.
Theory.
Well, all of your all of your
exactly.
theories and philosophies have been so amazing and so mind-opening. That's why I love talking about this stuff, because I'm just so open-minded to it all. Thank you so much for calling in.
And this is a miracle, Caleb, because I think we both like Caleb because we're on opposite. This is a miracle. This is a holiday miracle. Might as well be Christmas. Well, Caleb, thank you so much for calling. You got anything to shout out or anything like that?
No, just
you
keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep listening.
All right, man. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Thank
bye.
you. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
So that was Caleb. I didn't get where from, but that was Caleb. That was cool.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Caleb. That was
And,
great.
and I got to tell you, Caleb is the perfect example of what we want, because it's just like this cool discussion of like nobody's judging each other. It's all good. It's a cool discussion of whatever.
We forgot to ask him,
What?
Caleb, if you're listening to this, we forgot to ask him why he got fired from the military. I really wanted.
I didn't want to ask.
I know
him.
it was off subject, but
'Cause it could have
maybe
been
you can
like-
message us later.
It could have been like I was over it, or it could have been I stole a paper clip, or it could have been
Drinking on the job.
I murdered my boss, which I'm not saying that's what it is, but it could be any of those spectrums, and you're opening yourself up to like I just got over it, or I murdered. So I didn't want to open up that can of
Tell
worms.
us,
I'm sure it was
Caleb.
something
Please
innocuous,
tell us.
but Area 51. We didn't ask him where he wanted to get buried. We'll just assume Burbank. Sorry, Caleb. Burbank.
Maybe one of the military places he was at.
Maybe.
Maybe
I don't know. We shouldn't assume for him. But that's my fault for not asking the question. So Area 51. So we got established, like we got clear cut established that like you got some weird jets. If you're the military, it's happening Area. That's where it's popping. Like, and you saw that thing too online where it's
That's where it's popping.
that's where it's
Hang on a second.
who uses the fucking word popping? Nobody. Yeah, that's where it's happening. But who's the words? That's where it's happening. Nobody. Did you see the weird like it's like a confirmed thing, but like that all the people who work at what they call Paradise. Did you know they named it Paradise Ranch to try to allure like all these government workers? Mm-hmm. But they all get like everybody who works at Paradise Ranch gets shipped in or gets flown in on like unmarked jets from Vegas.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad that you said, because I was literally just thinking the same thing.
Were you thinking the same
Don't
thing?
they have like their jet? You could tell because it's smaller and then it's white and it has like a red strip down the side of it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they have like special shuttles and
Special shuttles.
dang, I would love to accidentally get on.
Do you think there's any? So, do you think there's any? I'm afraid of the answer on this. Do you think there's any aliens who live in Vegas and every time they go out to the market or whatever, they go to Paradise Ranch to work, they put on a mask? Are you listening to me? Do you think there's any aliens that are in a condo in Vegas and they have to like put on a mask every time they go out or go to Paradise Ranch for work?
Yes.
I want to live in that world.
Yes.
That's the only Area 51 alien I believe in. Condo live in Bork. Hey, you know what? He doesn't have to pay income taxes in Nevada, so he's living it.
Anyways, if you would like to give us a ring, call 626-733-8256. Because I still don't know it by heart yet.
You did good though. You did pretty good.
Thanks.
So, anyways, yeah. So I don't know. What are the fun stuff? What's the fun conspiracy theories?
Well, I think all mine.
So, we didn't get. I think we got
Distracted.
side by everything. But the oh my god,
What?
train of thought. I lost it. I played a laugh track and I'm waiting for it.
Can't with you.
Laughter faded. Do you think Roswell's any part of Roswell's in there? Because do you believe in? I don't think we had a Roswell episode, and I don't know if we got out whether you believed in Roswell.
Oh, they
like
found
that happened.
bodies for sure.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And there was it? I believe it was Roswell where there was actually ex-military. I don't know if he was ex-military. I want to say he was retired because he was old. But he actually had a picture. We'll post it on our Instagram on ExtraNormal.
We'll post that doctor photo.
Yeah, and he's legit right next to the extraterrestrial. And, you know.
Dead extraterrestrial or like arm around the extraterrestrial? Like,
it looked like it was dead. But it's so real that, you could take it with a grain of salt. Like, you could take it. I see that image, and just watching him, he was on Ancient Aliens. So.
Drinking game.
Shout out to Giorgio. So I believe that it's beyond real. I mean, why would why would?
Does Giorgio have a merchandise store online? That's all I care about. Does he have a merchandise store online?
I hope so.
I want to buy his stuff. Would you rather meet a living alien or see a dead alien? I think this comes down to fear. Would you be more like, if you saw a living one, you'd be like, oh my God, but if you saw a dead one, which one would you rather meet?
Living.
Living? Oh my God.
Yeah. Because I would be so sad that if I found are you saying like if I found like a UFO crash or something, I would be so sad that I couldn't help them in any way, So I'd rather.
Okay. Another question. So you'd rather meet a living alien than a dead alien. I think that's fair enough, because you have if you met a dead one, you'd be like, oh my God, I have so many questions. If you were to stumble on in this hypothetical world, like you're Farmer John in Roswell, I don't remember his name. I should. And you stumbled on an alien spacecraft. What would be first, second, and third call? What would you do? Call my mom.
That's what you would do, probably.
No, I wouldn't.
I would.
I don't call her anyways. I don't call her on normal occasions.
I would probably call you.
Uh-huh.
And be like, babe, I found this while I was like videotaping.
Uh-huh.
Because I have to get all the pictures for the evidence. And I'd probably send them to you right there in case freaking Men in Black show up and they're like trying to take all my footage. But it's like, too late, bitch. I already sent it to my husband. I already live fucking streamed it on Instagram. What you gonna do? What you gonna do now?
I Snapchatted, even though Snapchat's not really a thing anymore. I TikToked it, even though TikTok's probably not gonna be a thing in the future.
Those are the first two things. And then I would see
TikTok's probably
if there was, I would probably enter and see if there was any live beings in there that I could help. I don't even know. I've thought of this. This is something I've thought about.
You've clearly
I've thought about.
Most people are like, well, if there's an earthquake, this is what I should do. I should have this steps, and this is what I'm thinking about. Or if there's like some kind of emergency, you're like, first thing, earthquake, fine. I know we live in California, but fine, whatever. Who cares? If I meet an alien, if an alien crashes in my backyard, this is what I'm gonna do.
First and foremost, but yeah, no, and then I would be like worried about them because I would be like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to call the police. I don't want to call the paramedics because they're going to take this poor injured alien and they're going to go do experiments on him. So I'd probably keep him in my shed in the backyard. Like, sorry, Clementine, you don't get the shed anymore.
Let him die a slow death instead.
I would see how I can help him. E.T.
Like a baby pigeon?
I could phone home for him. You
think he has a cell phone? Like a super nice cell phone, probably. Like an iPhone 20.
UFO dee-doo-dee-doo's up and running, then yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can call R2D2 until you can call R2D2. You're thinking of Star Wars. The thing I think about, like in terms of like calling, if you think about kooky, like most like preparedness that I'm butchering, like the thing I think about, like, oh my God, what if this happened? That's kind of a little bit outlandish. Is zombie attack. I think about that shit all the time. I'm like, well, if there's zombie attack, like if like say COVID, this is not a conspiracy theory where we think it's gonna
you went there
mutate, but if it does, who knows? Who knows in this world? Who could say? But if it does mutate and there's a zombie outbreak
from COVID, like the people that have passed on from COVID,
it could happen.
They turn into zombies.
Again, for the record, I'm not anticipating or predicting it, but it could. Who knows? Things mutate.
Who the fuck would want to anticipate that?
Nobody. But I'm just saying, this is not a prediction. I'm like, oh, COVID's going to turn into. No, it's not. I'm just saying if it did.
Damn it. wanted the vampires to return before the zombies.
What
I got
fake
a
monster do you
conspiracy
think's going
theory
to
on
return?
that too. So if
Oh,
you want to go
God.
there,
No, we're not going to go there. You always want to go there.
living beings.
There's,
Getting that fountain of youth on children. Just saying.
you keep
I
getting
went
back
there.
into that
I went
conspiracy
there.
theory.
I went there.
The no fun one. You keep, let's bring it to no fun. I like bringing it
It's very
up.
sad. It's very sad.
And it's not true. It's very sad and not true.
I hope not.
You should hope not, because
I
it's
hope
not
not.
goddamn true. Vampire, in terms of least likely fucking shit, vampires, I wish. Again, like, I'm a little bit like Caleb. I wish this shit happened. Like, and I love it. I fucking feed it up. But I don't probably think vampires ever. I wish. I don't wish. Why would I wish? I don't think they did. Anywho, so what are other
How
fun...
dare you? I don't know if I could talk to you anymore.
What, the vampires don't exist?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's definitely people who drank blood and thought like, oh, I'm getting younger, but then they fucking croaked just like everyone else. They died just
Got some like.
They died at the age of 30 just like everybody else at that time. And they just got a little bit more blood out of it. Any pint of blood. So you do think that, do you think they ended that Roswell crash that ended up in Area 51?
Because when you look at that, the guy that actually had to go, the worker that had to go down there and collect the particles, in the image, like he looks.
Well, wasn't that image doctored? Isn't that like image been pretty debunked?
I don't know. I think when I look at him in the image, it looks like there's
that's the thing. It's
Men
like
in Black standing over him. Hold it up and pretend like it looks. He doesn't.
No, see, that's the thing is that like I think that one's probably definitely fake because I'm not saying whether there is aliens or not aliens in Area 51. I'm not storming with you guys to find out. Sorry, guys, I'm not storming. Y'all find out and let me know. Okay. I think that they're not gonna like Men in Black like are not gonna let them take fucking pictures or videos.
Why?
I don't know, because they're not going to do that. They're like, fuck this. Like
Well, no, because they had.
They
had to put it in the paper to make it look like it never happened. So it's like, here, hold this weather balloon up and pretend.
Sorry, one of the conventional theories behind this, and this has some credence. And again, it doesn't dispute that there's not aliens back down there. I hope there is. Is that they let the whole like they had all these like secret military installations, like they were developing all this crazy ass shit, and people were like, "Well, is it aliens?" And they're like, "We got to tell them something." Bob turned to Stan and was like, "Stan, we got to tell them something. What the fuck are we gonna tell them? Like we're developing this balloon thing to spy on Russia. What the fuck are we gonna tell them? Let's tell them it's a weather phenomenon or an air balloon." That's just as conceivable as aliens. Because they're just making up shit. They're just like, fuck it. Like, we're just going to make up anything.
Tell me why. Tell me why. Why do a lot of people...
I love you so much. It's just a thing.
That have had encounters always see a similar type of alien, which the most common are like the grays. Like, so that's where I'm like, yes, I get what you're saying. And yes, that could make sense. But to me, I'm like, no, like so many people are seeing the same type of aliens, are having the same type of experiences.
Uh-huh.
So, and then they're in two different places, but it could happen at like the same time. I don't think it's just people making it up.
I don't think it's people making it up. I don't think that's it. I think that it's people really not knowing what they're seeing, and that this is like, yeah, maybe. I mean... And it's like the thing, like it's again gets to the point, like for me that like I don't like dispute that maybe aliens have showed up, and like I don't know, I don't fucking know, like who knows? But I think the aliens are definitely disguising themselves, so they're gonna make it look like they're not gonna like come down in this obnoxious looking like 50s saucer. They're not gonna like come up like, hey, look at my cute saucer, everybody. Like, hey, everybody, look at my cute saucer.
Oh my gosh,
it spins.
So cute.
I know. Listen, but like if clearly like the thing with aliens and visitation and stuff, like clearly they don't want us to get the full picture if they are coming, right?
Yeah.
They like if they are in fact at the door or whatever.
They're like these fucking idiot humans. Like, they're like, leave us alone.
Just like wear a fucking mask
for whatever minerals we need. We're trying to find gold to.
Do you think that's what it is? I don't think I've ever asked you. What do you think? So aliens clearly haven't set up shop, right? They haven't.
I think they have.
Okay, beyond ancient aliens, let's take out the ancient aliens factor, right?
No, I believe just that people have seen saucers like flying into the ocean. I think that extraterrestrials have bases here, like,
but they're not like they're not like franchising out a Wendy's. Like they're not like showing up and like
but
really making themselves part of the community, which is kind of rude.
I'm saying like they have like in mountains underground. I believe that they are either harvesting some energy from here.
But
there's certain elements of our atmosphere that they need. But I believe that they do. I don't know if they come here to hide. Maybe it's like a vacation, you know?
Vacation. Wish I knew the lyrics.
Get away. Can you imagine?
If they played that song coming in, I'd be a fan of Aliens, I'll tell you that much.
So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like our Earth is so huge. There's so many places that we can't even get to because we would die. So obviously they're more advanced. And
but ma'am,
maybe they're utilizing those places.
Ma'am, I want you to answer the question. Why do you think, sir, ma'am, why do you think that so in the premise that they're here, right? And that they're going underwater, they're living in mountains, they're living in Area 51. Why do you think that they don't just pop up and just be like, hey guys, like we're just getting these minerals. We're much more powerful than you, but we're not going to Mars attacks you.
It's like living amongst other species that we already live around. We live around insects. We live around different animals. So it's like, so they're just another species that's just kind of like, hey, like,
what if,
I'm kind of here, but I'm kind of not, and I kind of want to be left alone.
So they're just like super shy, like introverts?
I mean, they don't.
You think aliens are just introverts? It's like, man, listen, if I show up, if I come out of this mountain.
Like, if anything, they're more like autistic, and I say that in the most respectful way. They're very intelligent to where they don't need to communicate. But you don't think it's just like a beings? They're just like, I'm way advanced, dude.
Okay, don't get so upset about it.
No, I'm just speaking. I'm like embodying an extraterrestrial.
Why are they such dicks if you're embodying them? I don't need to. Oh God,
I need to talk to you.
I don't even need you. Why? Your party invites are bullshit.
I'm gray.
What if aliens are they're like super sophisticated? You can get all the way over here, but they're like the size of ants.
Or they are.
And they're like, they had the technology to destroy us, but if you just stepped on them, they'd be done. They'd be so cool.
Possibility.
Is it possibility?
I mean,
is Marvin the Martian real?
Well, what are ants? Our DNA is also
from ants.
Sure,
down the way.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They have alien DNA, so do we. What does that make us?
Hey, we're all aliens here. Just from a big burst.
Big bird.
Is there any other fun? I'm relying on you because I looked up like boring shit like Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Well, as long as it wasn't Dwight Yoakam. Good.
The Area 51 was developed by Dwight Yoakam in the 80s. It's a country haven.
Oh, suck it.
Nobody knows fucking Dwight Yoakam. If they do, I like him because I like Dwight Yoakam, but I don't know if anybody knows Dwight Yoakam. If you don't know or you do know Dwight Yoakam, call in 626-733-8256.
I don't want to talk about Dwight Yoakam.
You don't want to talk about Dwight Yoakam? Most likely country star to be an alien.
Dolly Parton.
Because you know what? She's out of this world.
I do love me some Dolly.
Teed up and hit. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Area 51 is weird. And this Bob Lazar guy, do you believe in Bob?
Blob?
I've been drinking Corona party beers. Life is a beach. Do you believe in Bob Lazar's story? about him coming in the 80s and trying to...
Tell us about it.
I don't know about it. You're supposed to know about it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You think he's a kook.
I don't know about kook. I think he's either savvy and he knows, like, hey, I could write a couple books, make a couple appearances, or he saw some stuff. I don't know.
I think because he goes
I think his story's a little fishy, maybe.
I think he goes into such detail about it all that's where I'm like, wow, like...
Because here's the thing.
He just has a wild imagination or he's, you know...
And it's like one of those things where, like, you're trying to play chess with the government. So either he's, like, full of shit and the government's like, well, yeah, he's full of shit. Like, why would we? Or the government knows and they're like, well, he's going to look crazy and we're going to let him talk. Because if... My mind would go, probably if he knew stuff, they would not let him talk. He'd get, one in the head, two in the chest, or whatever they say.
And I mean, in that case, I think because he had already revealed it, they probably were like, no one's going to believe him anyways. Isn't that like the typical story?
Well, you don't want to feed the story by murdering the guy who reveals it?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
I think they probably were waiting to see how the reaction was from, everybody watching. And because most people didn't believe it, that's probably what they were hoping for. But I think if there was a big, like, following of his, I think then that would have been a little bit. Like,
hey, did you know in
1990
he got convicted of for his involvement in a prostitution ring?
He looks like the type.
Yeah, so he's like he says he like has all these degrees and stuff like that, and the universities went to is like, we don't know what he's talking about. So I think that I don't know about Bob Lazar. I don't know. I think he's a little bit shifty. Oh, I don't know.
Aren't we all?
Shift, Alt, Delete. Yeah, I thought we'd have more on Area 51.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. We don't know. They don't want us to.
Yeah, so it's all in theory.
Yep.
But I believe there's some really crazy shit going on down there.
Well, again, in terms of like most likely to be like housing aliens, probably it. It's probably like if the U.S. government is housing aliens, that is a spot that they're going to be because it's in the middle of nowhere. They didn't all acknowledge.
There's also one in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That your ancient aliens boy said he. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way that the setup there is like it's way less expected though, like because it's like it almost looks like Halcyon, like it's very green. It's definitely not like in the desert. But yeah, you try to go down, they got you on surveillance. They will check your ass. They will stop you.
Well, any government, that's the thing too, is the mystery is that like any government fucking facility is going to shut you down if you try to show up. If you try to go to Camp Pendleton, which is a local reference, sorry, but it's a Marine base out near San Diego, they're going to shut you down. Like any military base, you try to come in and you're not expected, like they're going to shut you down. That's it. And especially like Area 51, where they're doing a bunch of secret, crazy-ass shit. Like, could be normal military crazy-ass shit, normal government, like, technology shit, or it could be crazy-ass shit. I don't know. And the thing, too, with like, Roswell is, like, them having it, one of the problems is that from what Roswell happened in 1947, right? Mm-hmm. And by all accounts, Area 51 wasn't fully established until 1954, 1955. So where did they keep those bodies and that wreckage in between for 8 years without anybody knowing? That's the thing that's like, I don't know. I don't think that if Roswell was a true event, I'm on the fence on it. If Roswell was a true event, that
they did have a military
that stuff would be
there in Roswell. I think before they actually did.
Oh, there's military bases all over the place. Yeah, but I don't think that
he was or she or I don't really think that the gray aliens have a gender.
I don't think they would need one if they're at the technology where they're going over. Yeah. You know. Do you think
at that point they could just fuck themselves? And I mean, why not?
Hey, you know, who needs foreplay when you can fuck yourself? You know. Everybody go fuck yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I fucking don't know. I don't know. Would you, if there was a promise of finding an alien, how much damage would you take? Which is a bad phrasing of it. So say storming Area 51 resulted in you being the discoverer of aliens, right?
Okay.
Would you die for it? If it were to like open the world to the discovery of aliens, would you die for it?
I would say
Dramatic
yes.
pause.
I would say yes if I wasn't a mother because I feel like definitely before
Mama bird.
we had our daughter, I was definitely more
Like,
rebellious.
fuck this storm Area 51.
Oh hell, motherfucking yes! I mean, because
I don't care if they have Nighthawks. We're gonna go.
Yeah. But because my daughter needs her mother.
Oh, Would
I
you lose your
definitely
legs for the discovery of?
Yeah, just get my fucking robot legs. We're already gonna be fucking turned into robots. So
Fuck
shit.
care, singularity's
we might
happening
already
anyways.
be robots for all we fucking know. Sleeping is just us recharging. When you think of there's like I start thinking about this shit. It freaks me the fuck out. Like I have this like face scrubber thingy, and when you're charging it, it pulses. And when I'm looking at it pulse, it almost reminds me of like when you're sleeping, you're breathing in oxygen and out, like the way your lungs open and close. And I'm just like, what if we have to sleep because we're like that's the way that we recharge our batteries?
That is the way we recharge our batteries, but on a biological, way.
I'm just saying, it could be biological and robotical altogether. See what I'm saying, yo?
No, I don't. I'm glad you asked me. Thank you so much for asking me how I feel about it.
Sorry.
I don't think that if it would lead to the discovery of aliens, I think maybe I'd lose legs. Why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
Legs are overrated.
Like, how would your legs, would they get pow-powed or beaten or mangled?
You want specifics? Do you want me to call Area 51, see if they can give us specifics on how they would?
Will you have like some danglers coming?
No, it'd be laser. There is theories that they are trying to.
Would your still be there?
These are details I haven't thought about. I don't know.
All of a sudden you change your mind.
Sure, no. That's a different story.
Don't worry, you could get a robotic dick.
How could I fuck myself under those circumstances?
You'd be surprised.
Well, listen, you get creative. Put it in your butthole, for instance. Yeah, I probably would. I'd probably lose like I definitely wouldn't give my life for that, because then
You wouldn't?
selfishly I would be like, well, yeah, beautiful scientific discovery, but I ain't gonna see that shit. Who cares?
Oh, I would give my life.
When we could be a ghost hanging out,
as
like
long
I
as
told,
it
I was the
wasn't
one who told
a cover up, because I would be pissed if I gave my life and
It was
that
like
shit was covered up. Like,
you. Just like sweep it up.
yeah,
Like I finally
nope,
discovered, like
Brianna never existed.
not really. You discovered it, but you're dead.
Yeah. So as long as it was like out there,
Mm-hmm.
I would be
Just to prove me wrong.
for the cause. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been an episode of Extra Normal Podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening. You could find us. You could support us if you want. Help us be more active and start uploading bonus episodes, finding time for that instead of second, third jobs. At patreon.com/ExtraNormal Podcast. You can support us there. You can find us on Extra Normal Podcast at Instagram to see when we're posting live, when we're recording live, to call in. You could find us on Twitter at Extra Normal P. You can find us on Facebook at Extra Normal Podcast.
YouTube.
You can find us on YouTube. You can find us everywhere. We just fucking blast the shit out because, yeah. Anyways,
And we want to just thank everybody who's called in so far. And thank you, Caleb. Like, that was such an amazing call. Like, that's the shit that I live for. Because I could, like, we could, if we weren't doing this podcast, we could have probably been talking to you all night about this stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So please, please call everybody. Come one, come all. Call us and let's have some great discussions.
Yeah.
Let's be open-minded.
Let's be open-minded. Why not? Who cares?
Always be open-minded.
And I say, always be friends of Paradise Ranch workers.